Tell you I'm obsessed with this pattern. I am not even kidding. I am obsessed. Nobody's gonna see it other than, I mean, I'm not gonna see it. I'm not gonna see the back. So hey, I'm okay with it not being there. Hello, sweet friends. It's Sarah at Crochet.With.Coffee, and thank you so much for joining me for another Monday chat. I have a few things to talk about today. First off, it is the first Monday of the month, so we have to go over how many labels we use this month. So I need to count those with you guys. I also have a few finished cardigans that I need to share with you. Has been a lot of fun, and tell you a little bit about that. And I also just want to chat about what we've been up to lately, or what I've been up to specifically, I guess. Let's start off with this cardigan because it's part of the things that we've been up to on Crochet with Coffee. So this pattern tutorial came out on Friday. That is a custom fit cardigan. So you take your own measurements, and I explain how to do that to create your own cardigan. And we've got that. It was a lot of fun, and it's really nice. It actually is fitted, but it still has the hexagon cardigan start to it. So you still have a hexagon cardigan, and then you just customize it to whatever size that fits you best. So that's like what is it? Those books that used to be a thing. I don't know if there's still a thing where you get to a certain point of the book and then it asks you what you want to do, and then you have to flip from this or to this page or this page, and it continues a story. I can't remember what those are, but it's like choose your own journey type of thing. So that's kind of what I think of when I was making this cardigan, because you really can customize it to however you want it to fit. It ends up being really nice that you can actually fit into something that's not like super oversized and baggy like the typical hexagon cardigan. So that one was a lot of fun. And the reason we got that one out last Friday, along with the Friday before that, we had the regular hexagon cardigan with like the big baggy sleeves and then the optional bell sleeve or cuffed sleeve. Because we're getting ready for this Wednesday, we're going to start our lives, and we're going to be doing our random picks for our random scrap hexagon cardigan. So I talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. Oh, you guys like this painting? I found it at a thrift store, and it is signed by a Norma. Her name was Norma, whoever painted it. It's just so cute, and it's the colors I love, so that's Norma's painting. I don't know Norma, but I like her work. All right, so on Wednesdays, what we're gonna do with our scraps, I've got our 4 baskets of scraps. We've got our numbers here that we're going to do random picks. I've got them all crunched up so that they're easier to grab, but I've got our numbers, and then we'll pick a scrap out of whatever basket that we're going to be working out of. The baskets will be numbered, and we'll pick our scraps that way for our hexagon cardigan. And then along with that, we're doing random picks for our would you rather questions. And here's another question that says, this is the granny square category, and it says, would you rather work granny squares with solid colors or change colors? Like these. So that's what we're going to be doing on our Wednesdays. Starting this Wednesday, we're going to do lives at 11 Eastern Standard Time. So be ready for that, because I have never done lives. So get ready for a couple laughs, because I'm sure it's going to be interesting. Okay, and then what else do we have? I need to think about what we're doing. All right, so this cardigan. Let's go over this one. All right, so if you guys do not already follow the Fabulous Empty Nest, Angie is over there, and she was doing a crochet along, like stitch along type of thing for her mom hug sweater, and she was doing it for autism awareness. So she did it last month, And I did this sweater. I did it with only worsted weight yarn, and she did it with chunky yarn or yarn held double, worsted yarn held double. So I used, this hanger's the worst for this, but I still used the same hook size that she used, but I did my starburst grannies there, and then I just followed her instructions as far as building it, and it is such a neat sweater, so, or cardigan. So the way she did it was that you have this really cool collar that folds back. It's kind of dark, I don't know if you can see it, but this yarn here was a red heart, it's discontinued yarn, but I always want to say either retired yarn or expired yarn, and that's not either one of those. It's discontinued. So this is the discontinued red heart yarn, the color Cherry Cola, and that was from a blanket that I frogged. That was my frogger finish video that I had done, and I'm really glad to be able to use it for this cardigan. So it's so pretty, the design. So it ends up being, you know, squares that you attach, and she explains how you do that, and then how you put this really cool folded back collar on it. It goes all the way around the bottom. It's nice and like thick ribbing. I'm really happy with it. It was a lot of fun to make. So if you are interested in making this one, I will link her channel in the description if you want to check out her instructions that she has for the mom hug sweater. It's so cute. So love that one. It was a lot of fun. And she makes it really simple, and it's a very simple construction. So easy, fun, and looks really cute. Okay, so before I show you this next sweater, there is a cardigan, or I guess it's a cardigan. Before I show you this next cardigan, there has been a cardigan from Mary Maxim that has been circulating around, and that is the Vintage Wolf cardigan. I've got coffee on the bottom, don't mind that. But it's this pattern right here. So this is a Mary Maxim pattern, and this originally was from the 1950s or 70s. I think what I found was that it was first released in the 1950s, and then it was re-released in the 1970s, possibly. That's what the information that I could find. But this pattern, or this cardigan, has been circulating recently, but instead of a wolf, it has been changed to a fox. So it has been in a movie recently, and I think it's a sci-fi movie. I haven't seen it, but another creator here on YouTube, her name is Michelle Jasek, and I don't know if I'm saying her name right, so I apologize if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong. But anyway, she was making this as a crocheted version. So I watched her videos probably like 3 or 4 times with her explaining how she did it, you know, introducing it. I loved the videos that she was talking about with it, and just the colors of it are so neat because, I mean, they're my fall colors. I love fall colors. I'm not a fox person. I don't particularly care for foxes or anything. They're fine, but I'm not like a fan. But this one, the colors and everything, I just needed to have it. And you know, I don't knit very much. Here and there, I do a little bit. This one has color work. So her talking about the fact that she was making it in crochet was very nice to know that she was doing it in crochet. So I bought the pattern, and I took the pattern and I changed the colors a little bit and adjusted it because it is you can't see it because it's black and white, but this is the wolf, and the one that they have as the fox, they changed the colors and they changed a little bit of the features on the chart that the pattern comes with. So anyway, all that, and I was super excited to get that. But what I did first, because I'm not a wolf fan, is I did something different. So I took the basic structure of that and I used my gauge and I tried to match my gauge to what they have on the knitted version so that my inches were the correct amount, so I didn't end up with a really long cardigan, because mine ended up being, for every 6 stitches on the knit pattern, every 6 stitches or rows tall was an inch, and my crochet was 4 rows high to make an inch. So I did the math to adjust everything and, you know, all that stuff, but we got it worked out, and I did a cardigan with something else on it instead of a wolf. And I'm going to show you what that is. You see the front? Can you tell what that is from the... Oh, can you see it? So if you didn't already see that pop through, can you tell what it is from the paws there? The paw. It's 5 toes. I did the cuffs on the bottom. I did the toes, or the prints on the bottom, because on this pattern, you've got the wolf prints on the bottom. So I did it a little different to match the animal that I was doing. I did this. I did the bear. He's so cute. Now for this bear, I purchased a cross stitch pattern on Etsy, and I'll link that in the description so you can go grab that if you want. But I took this crochet, or this cross stitch design, and I formatted it to match what I wanted for crochet. So I think what I ended up doing, instead of going off of all the colors that were on that cross stitch design, I simplified it to only use 4 of those colors. So that's why it's not super detailed, but you can see his face and everything. You can see the shadows and stuff. So that is my bear cardigan. I love that this collar folds over like that. It is so comfy. This has been my go-to cardigan to wear, and I typically don't wear my crocheted things like that because I make it and then it sits, and I don't pick it up and wear it. I normally am a sweatshirt person. So explain that to me. I don't understand that one. So that's what I did for that one. I took the wolf pattern and I tweaked it as far as the amount of rows per inch, and then formatted that to match the cross stitch design that I had. And then the bear paws, I really just kind of did my own thing for that, and the front bear paws on the front. And there's a reason I did bear paws instead of a bear face on the front, and I'll show you why. So I have a lot of failed attempts, and let me tell you, this one, this was frustrating because I'm pretty sure I did every single panel twice because I messed it up in some way, one way or another. And I had to tear it out and redo it, and tear it out and redo it. And I was frustrated, but I wanted this so bad, I worked through it. So I'm very happy with it now. But let me show you some of my failed attempts, because it was interesting. All right, so this was one. I can't remember why. This one, I think I made the pocket on the wrong side, and I was doing, this was the left side. I think I did the left side twice, but I have my little bear paws. They look better from far away over here than they do close up, but yeah. So that was mistake number 1. And then, you know, lots of things like that happened where it was off, or I did the wrong side, or, you know, I messed up his face or something. Tearing out color work on crochet is a task. But anyway, this was the bear face that I came up with, and it just was not looking good. I mean, I guess it looks okay from far away, but like close up when I was looking at it, also on camera, it looks better than it does in person. So you can see the idea of it. And maybe I should have kept going, I don't know, but his eye ended up looking a little strange. But anyway, So that's why we did the bear paws on the front instead of the bear face. But, you know, looking at it, maybe I should have kept going. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, that was that sweater. And then I got super adventurous and I was like, well, since I did that, maybe I should try to knit it. And if you guys remember the one shirt that I did for my mom, I did knit and I did some color work on that, and it I didn't know what I was doing. So it ended up being really weird. The lettering ended up being strange. So I watched a whole bunch of tutorials. You guys shared some really helpful tutorials too for color work and for intarsia for knitting. But yeah, so I was diving into all of that, trying to study what it was that I was supposed to be doing. But if you guys have not seen this pattern already, this pattern has designs on the back portion too. There's two fox or wolves or whatever that you can see. You see their tail, their back leg, their body, and then their head and their front legs, and they're kind of like curved. I'm not a fan of that in general, but I also was thinking, if I'm not a super fan of that and the structure of it and everything, and I'm also struggling with the color work idea, maybe I just remove that and nobody's going to see it other than, I mean, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see the back. So, hey, I'm okay with it not being there. But this was my attempt. This is the back panel of a knitted version. So we'll see how it goes. This is my knit version of the sweater. I do need to block it. It's very funny there. And then I have my paws over here. So it's not terrible, but they're not good. See how they're like pulling here? It's not supposed to do that. So I'm still practicing. Like, I'm going to practice on the paws for see, that one's pretty good. Yeah, some of them are good, but you're supposed to like twist your yarn around each other before you continue knitting a color so that the color that you're knitting does not pull when you go back the other direction. It's a whole thing. If you're a knitter, I guess you understand and you know that. I don't. I'm learning. So it's not terrible, but it is the back. And from far away, it's not bad. So we are, I am working on a knitted version of it, but also when I tell you I'm obsessed with this pattern, I am not even kidding. I am obsessed because not only did I do this one in the bear, I started knitting the one for the fox. And then on top of that, I started one for my friend, but I started a wolf. And we started, she picked a dark color. So this is I'm going to show you the color before I show you the whole thing because we're going to laugh together about it. Okay, so that is the color of the background that she chose. And I really like it. It is a bluish gray tweed, and it's a big twist yarn. So it is a really pretty tweed color. This was my first attempt at the fox. And this is crocheted. And because it is crocheted, it ends up being taller than it is when you knit it, because like I said, my four rows for an inch and their 6 rows for an inch make a big difference when you're doing color work and you know, everything like that, because it elongates everything. So this was my attempt at the wolf. And when I say don't laugh, I already assume we should laugh at it. What is that? So she wanted a white and gray wolf. These colors are not contrasting enough. I didn't choose the colors that were contrasting enough. Again, it looks better on screen than it does in person. So when I hold this up, I'm kind of shocked at the fact that I don't hate it as much. But the colors here, I should have, his tongue is hanging out of his mouth. Look at it. I don't know why, but I think if I do that again for the fox, I'm just going to have the mouth be red on the inside and not have the tongue hanging out. I don't know. I don't know why his tongue's hanging out of his mouth. But anyway, I tried this. I tried it. But that is the fox. And yes, I think that the more contrasting colors would have been a little bit better, and if I would have moved the tongue. But I was so frustrated by this, and I sent her a picture and I was like, I'm not doing this one. I'm gonna pick a different wolf for you. So I found another wolf, and I'll link this in the description if you want this, because this is just one that I found online. I was looking up animals that were pixelated and, you know, in a graph form, like pixelated graph form, or cross stitch. That seems to be probably the best way that I have found designs that are good to crochet, because like I can't show you the knit pattern, but for knit graph work, or you know, when it's showing something in a graph, it is thin boxes, and in crochet charts and graphs it is squares, because the single crochets end up being very, you know, consistent between height and width. So this is the wolf that we're going with for her cardigan. Isn't that so much better? I mean, look. This one or this one? This one looks so much more majestic, like he knows what's going on. This guy's just crazy. He doesn't get it. He has no idea what's happening. He's the boss. This is boss man. He's got it. All right, so we did the contrasting color for the paws. I've got my pocket. It's not sewn. It's not all sewn on the back yet, but I've got my pocket here. I love it. I can't wait for her to get it. This is the friend that is also getting the Hexagon cardigans for her mom and her girls, and I still haven't sent them out. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But I really want to get this done so that she can have this one too. So then I also have another wolf graph to put on the back. So it's more like that style. But he's so fancy. I like him. So I got the 2 front panels done for the wolf. And I'm really just going off of the same like basic structure of that cardigan, because it gives you a chart of how the shapes are constructed. And like the sleeves, you've got cutouts for the sleeves, so it's not like super boxy, and it fits really nice. So we've got cutouts for the sleeve, you've got cutouts for the front, so that the collar lands really nicely. And we've got this boss man of a wolf. Isn't he so cool? I love it. He's so neat. All right, so I think that's my rant on that pattern, but I'm obsessed with it. And that is like the main thing that I have been working on lately, other than the tutorials that I've been getting done and the mom hug sweater that I wanted to get completed, and all that. So I'm ready to get those done, because I love this bear one. I love bears and I love the fit of this. It has been so much fun. So that was really cool to get that structure of the pattern that they give for the knit and converting it into like a crochet version. So yeah, lots of fun. All right, so let's count our labels for last month. And also I have my ends. This is my bag of ends. And then I also have my bag of, like, these are like long ends that I don't have like a ball for. There's not enough in here for like a ball, but I've got all those strings where, you know, it's like at least like a foot or a little bit more. That one is almost full. I need to add it to the ball that I have in there. So I'm tying the ends together and just making a ball so that I can actually make a project with the scrap ball. But yeah, that's my bag of ends. After weaving in my ends, I cut them off, and these are too short to add to the ball. So these are going in a place, and I'm going to brainstorm on things that I could do with these at the end of the year. I just want to see how much I have at the end of the year. So far, I've got like 4 of those bags. So we'll see what we have at the end of the year. Now let's see all these labels. Should I count them all first and then sort them? There's a lot. Okay, let me tilt you down a little bit so that we can actually see this. All right, yeah, I think I'm just gonna, because I have them all like together, like inside each other, like that. So let me do that really quick and sort them out like that and get them separated. And then we'll count them. All right, are we ready for a count? We've got, this one was, okay, I have 1 cake of thrifted Red Heart Cherry Cola yarn, which I used for the Mom Hug sweater. So that was 1 red heart. I'm going to put that with the red heart and we'll count that. Then, and I know I had, okay, here. Had some weird ones that needed to go together. So let me see. Okay, I think I got them all kind of together. Okay, so I have 1 skein of the Karen 1 pound. That was what I used for that cardigan. I don't need to tell you what I used for everything, I guess, because I don't even remember for some. All right, I have a pound of love skein. Pound of love, so that ends up being 2. And then a big twist. I've got 1, 11 big twist. So that ends up being 13 altogether. 11 big twists, 13 in total. All right, I have 1 mainstay, so that's 14. 1, I love this yarn from Hobby Lobby, and 6 red heart. I'm counting that cake. And I also had this vintage one. That was the, which one was that? I think it was called, oh, it's from Jacksonville, Florida. I don't think I ever remembered that. Jacksonville. Okay. All right, that was the color Windsor Blue. That was a thrifted one. All right, so what did I say? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeins of that. So that is 21. 21. And then the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, I have 3. So we have 24 skeins this month for April. 24. 24. Last month was a doozy. We did really good last month. I think, what did we have, like 37? So we are still under that one. That was a big month. I don't know that we'll be able to top that one. But I have, I'm gonna roll these all up. I'm gonna add them to our little box that I have over here. Let's see. My box of labels. So January, I only had 1. I had, let's see, again, February, I need to count that one. I don't have it marked on there. March was 37. This is a heavy one. And then I have these little hair elastics. Here's my April tag. And then we're just gonna rubber band them together. So you can keep them all. Hopefully it doesn't explode. I've been putting like 4 elastics around here so that they don't explode. All right, April 24. We got that. I gotta write it down. I'm never gonna remember. But anyway, that was our yarn use for this month. Now we are all empty and ready for May's labels. So jar is ready for May. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had fun. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to stick around for some more yarn related fun, you can hit that subscribe button. I post on Mondays, I'm doing lives on Wednesdays, and I post on Fridays. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you find joy in the little things.